I am here in studio with State Representative Joan Meschino of Hull. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure and delight.
Now, thank you. You have a bright red sweater on, a matching cup we were able to provide you with, and red is an important color today, especially for women. Why is that?
That's right. Today is Go Red for Women Day, where we are building awareness around cardiac health for women in conjunction with the American Heart Association. And so if I was in the State House today, all of the women legislators would be gathering to take a big photo to celebrate Go Red for Women. Ladies, I hate to tell you this, but cardiac disease, heart attack, is the number one killer of women out there. And we experience it differently than men. So sometimes the symptoms go unattended or unnoticed. So this is really a great reminder to get in there with your primary care. If you're feeling discomfort or you're feeling pain, speak up because minutes matter, and we really need you to be attentive to yourself, and we need to build awareness so that we don't just do what we always do, which is shrug these things off, because it could save lives.
Is it true? And isn't it true that women experience usually the warning signs differently than men do? And a lot of women are not aware of that.
That's right. So talk to your doctor about it. If you have, cardiovascular disease in your family, I saw a statistic recently that 1 in 5 women will have a stroke. They will experience a stroke. I mean, those are shocking statistics. But it starts with awareness. It starts with that relationship with your primary care and your doctor to know what your health needs are. And boy, don't hesitate. If you think you're having a heart attack, or it could be, you dial 911 because minutes matter.
That's right. And I know usually at the State House, we usually have 1 or 2 photos of all the state representatives or state senators and women in the building getting together and all wearing red and posing for a nice picture.
It's a great photo, and it's a great moment because all of the good guys come and hang with us too, and wear their red ties and really show support for the women in their lives. But it's the statistics are pretty shocking, and it really, I think there's a dearth of knowledge around women's health, but don't forget, we also have other life experiences, whether it's pregnancy or menopause, that sort of cue us up for these things as well and make us a little bit more vulnerable. But the statistics are out there, and it's pretty shocking. So, know yourself, get in to see those doctors, make sure you're speaking up if you think, you're having aches and pains where you shouldn't be. And call 911. Don't be shy.
And on this cold February day, I'm going to ask you about the beaches, because I know that you're very active with the Metropolitan Beaches Commission. What do they do?
So the Metropolitan Beaches Commission is a long-standing task force that's been there since 2006. And what it is all of the districts that have DCR beaches. So for us, it's Nantasket Beach Reservation, but it's all the way up to Nahant. Nantasket all the way up to Nahant. And we come together to advocate for resources to preserve and to protect and to invest in these beautiful, regional treasures, so that people really have access to the outdoors and can enjoy all of these. But what used to happen was we were always fighting for the resources. Now we've come together over the past 20 years, and you can see the investments that have been made both in the physical reservations themselves, seawalls and boardwalks and cupolas and bathhouses, like everything, but also around staffing and programming that bring people down to the beaches, because these are for everybody. And so they've been doing a lot of really great program and partnering and grants down this neck of the woods, Hull Life Saving Museum, the Carousel. Like, these are the kinds of places that are getting grants through Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, and through the state to really bring people down here. Yeah, it's great.
I know that some communities too have also made a push to make it easier for disabled people to get to the beach. And they actually have like a special kind of a rolling beach chair. I'm not sure if that's the
that was
right
me. Well, that was one of the big things is, they talk about like access, and part of it was language, right? So that everybody, knows what to do and how to come, and signage, but it's also physical access and how you get onto the beach. I mean, this is the intersection of the built environment with the natural environment, and it's not that easy. So whether you're someone who needs a wheelchair or you're a mom pulling the little the little truck there with all of the stuff, how you get onto the beach. And so now we do. We have all the beaches are starting to purchase and acquire these special wheelchairs. So come on down to Nantasket. We'll get you on the beach.
Okay. And this is, even though this is February now, this is really the start of the new legislative session. All the bills had to be filed, I think, within the first couple of weeks. What was it, almost 7,000 again this year?
I know. Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Wow.
It's a lot.
What bills are you working on especially this session?
So we have a couple of priorities. So as you know, once the session ends, bills expire. So we did refile our bill around the community media centers.
Important one.
And we're not starting from scratch. Keep in mind, we got that out of committee. We worked out some compromise language. And so that's where we're starting from, is now we'll get it through the committee real quick this time and really see if we can't make a pathway to the floor to vote. So that we're pretty excited about. And of course, I'm always working on climate. So we did refile a couple of the climate bills, really around how we heat buildings and building performance standards for large buildings, and creating municipal opt-ins to really help support municipalities in this work. And that's everything from technical assistance all the way to grants. And then as new work this session, there's two big bills. One has to do with climate and has to do with natural and working lands, and really giving municipalities sort of the incentives they need to preserve the existing natural and working lands. So like down our neck of the woods, think of like north-south river watershed, or reasons to invest in, all of our conservation land. And this is really important for our resilience and for our larger access to the outdoor spaces. We were just talking about the beaches. But then the second bill that's our number one priority is actually new to me. It has to do with preserving affordable housing. So we have, a very wealthy, expensive district, but our communities actually have created a substantial amount of affordable housing. And that's, just 80% of AMI, right? So it's just regular people who just can't quite pay market rent. And we want all of those folks to stay in our community, right? Those are people who are aging, or maybe they're ill or they're disabled. We want all of these people here. And these big equity firms, they're buying them up, and they are jacking up the rents a shocking amount. And I'm not on my watch, so I'm filing a bill that will cap how much they can raise the rents on these affordable units, and gives some more guidance, some more ability for the communities themselves, for the towns to actually manage what kinds of investments go in there, and what they're doing in our community, and how how we're retaining all of our residents so they can stay here.
When you're out in the district, we talk about things we think that people want to know about and should know about, that are things that are going on. When you're out in the district or holding office hours, what do you hear?
My office hours tend to be more about helping people navigate state government. And unfortunately, the biggest one lately has been unemployment. We've had a lot of people coming through our office who need help accessing unemployment benefits. There was a tremendous amount of fraud out there. And so, some of it's just like verification, because they're questioning, they're like, oh, is that really you, Joan? And, so that's been a real struggle. But we are seeing a real uptick in unemployment, people seeking unemployment benefits again, which kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. But me, I get right in there. I talked to the DUA, and we had a great conversation about how they really need to streamline those processes, because if you need help, you should be able to apply for those benefits and get that help in that moment of crisis.
Now, what about that whole movement to claw back some benefits that people during the pandemic, some people that got unemployment benefits justifiably and were fighting with the government about giving back money, and other people that fraudulently got them. And then there was a request, I guess, or an order to the state to pay back some of this. Where do we stand?
So we were able to, so the overpayments, for the most part, were it was just standing up a system, and the rules were changing, and people genuinely applied and genuinely were told that they were eligible for benefits. And then when they go back and audit, there were some discrepancies. But for people where there was no fault, we were able to secure waivers, so they didn't have to pay them back. And I think we got something like 60% of the people were able to get a waiver. Now, if you committed fraud, they are coming for you, and you deserve you should pay that back. But through that whole process, there was also, at the very highest of the state level, some accounting errors under the prior administration. And so the Healy administration did just negotiate with the federal government a settlement in terms of how much they would actually have to pay back. Now, this will have to be thoughtfully done, because if you're an employer out there and you're paying into the system, which you should, which we all should, that's what it's there for, this is going to put a pretty big burden on. So we're going to be learning more about what the strategy is and how that piece that loan that we need to repay the federal government will get paid back. But we need to do it thoughtfully, because we take care of our workers and we take care of our businesses here, and we don't want to break the bank on that. So more to follow on that one.
Absolutely. We will catch up with you on that. If people need to get a hold of you or contact your office, what's the best way to do that?
So you're always welcome to call 617-722-2092. I promise I won't answer the phone. It's a very nice, my legislative aide will answer. And you're always welcome to email us. It's joan.meschino@mahouse.gov. And, be in touch with your state representative as well. We want to hear from you. We're just at the top of the session, and you want to hear what you're interested in, and you should go on to malegislator.gov and check out what bills your rep filed, and because there's 7,000 of them. I only contributed, I think, 30, but take a look and see where your reps, what your reps are filing. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say most of it down here really reflects what the district, that's what we really try to do, is uplift our districts. There's a lot of great stuff going on, and that's what we're here to do, the work of the people.
Thank you very much. Again, that's State Rep Joan Meschino of Hull, right here on 95.9 WATD. I'm Christine James.